This is Tim with C&D Farms. Just going to come out here and do a little bit of a farm tour today. We are getting a little bit closer to moving to our land out here where we bought. We bought a 135 acre cattle farm that has nothing on it but one shed. Some people may say that's a bad idea to buy land that hadn't been doesn't have anything on it, and if you were just starting out and didn't have something else to sell, I'd probably agree with that. However, we sold a farm. You may see in some of our other videos, we sold some land. We still have our house. We're going to sell our house eventually after we build a house here, and then we're going to as we're building, but we do have pasture land. We do have some fencing, although it's geared more for cattle, which this part right here that I'm standing in now will be for cattle. But we'll just do a little tour. I'll kind of do some shots around, some different shots, and kind of show you. This is the back pasture that I call it. I'll move up a little later and show some pictures of the where the house is going to be, and then as we go out. So stay tuned, and I'm gonna switch the camera around and just do some shots and kind of narrate as I show that. All right, so here's the backside. So I'm kind of up on a hill here, and so that used to be back in what I've looked at from some of the older footage, older records. It used to be a house where that shed is. You may not be able to see it real clearly, but there's an old shed there that I'm going to have a plan for eventually. But then I'm going to kind of pan around. You kind of see some of the planted pines. That's part of our property. It goes all the way to a creek that's down in the bottom. So we got a pasture there. And then kind of walk up on this hill right here. Some of my family members have been using this as a deer hunting. We're still in a little bit of a deer season. I hope I'm not messing anybody up today, but it is around lunchtime, so usually people come out the woods this time of day and whatnot. So then I'm going to try to get back out of here in case there is some people hunting later on. But our property line kind of runs where them hardwoods are, just inside of those hardwoods, about 20 feet, all the way down to a creek bottom down in the bottom. So plans for this is to be pasture land in the backside all the way around. There again, like I said, those planted pines down there have something used. They're about 9 years old. And we kind of scan forward, and we'll kind of scan over. You can kind of see real tall trees up on the ridge there. That's the property line. It's planted pines all the way up to that, about 9 years old, and that's all part of this property as well. Kind of runs down in that bottom to the Bannister River that's down there in the lowlands. So this kind of comes up on the hill right here, and then I'm kind of walking to where the path would be to where the house is going to be. So, like I said, we do have pasture land. We do have land that we can use. In fact, you may even see where I've had cows on it already. Neighbor needed some property and to graze some cattle on, and so we put him on here while we're waiting to build. One of the things that I filmed earlier, but it didn't really turn out good, and I plan on doing a YouTube video a week. Right now, that's a lofty goal for me on our progress, but I tried during the summer and didn't do too well. Footage didn't come out right, and just kind of working on it. So, but anyway, the next footage you'll see will be around where the home house is.
bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell.
All right, now we're out here. We're going to build the house. So I don't know if you can see them. I hope you can see pretty good, but right here in the frame, right where this would be, is where our house is going to potentially be. That's the plan for it anyway. We have, we've pretty much decided, although it's not 100% yet, to go maybe with a modular home. We feel like we can get more for what we want and be able to have money to support other homesteading items that we want to do. Kind of panning around. My wife wants to keep the tree there. It's kind of a thing that we will keep here. But then kind of over here in this frame right here is where we want to build kind of a shop slash farm office, whatever you want to call it. It'll be kind of our central point where we can work on stuff. Our house probably we'll probably do a garage with the house. So that's something that we'll plan to do. But right in this area, right here will be kind of our shop, which is in pretty good close proximity to the house. So that's one thing that we want to do, try to do. So, and then all down through there will be parts of the homesteading part or some of our barns for our animals. Kind of over in this direction right here. Probably right somewhere envisioned in there will be kind of our main livestock barn with some alleyways to kind of go back over to this other pasture. So where I'm at now would probably be either behind the garage or beside it, kind of. But there's there's some pictures of the house, or where the house would be is kind of where these stakes are, where I put them T-posts. And then some of this right here where I'm walking will be part of the backyard. Some of this will be kind of leveled a little bit, because we are going to take a little bit of the crown off of the top of the hill where the house is going to be and try to make it as flat as possible. And then what we plan to do is everything kind of in this back section will kind of be kind of our barn areas and kind of where the core of the home business and our animals and all of that will stay. We'll have little shelters scattered around, but this will kind of be kind of one of the main sections right here. So kind of walk on a little bit further. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to try to practice some rotational grazing through kind of like Joel Saliston does at Polyface Farms. Taking some of the things I've learned over the years since I've been trying to plan this. I've been watching a lot of different homesteaders and YouTubers and just kind of looking. Justin Rhodes being one of them. Uh, just different homesteaders in different ways. I am blessed to have a lot of land to play with. So one of the things that we'll be able to do is right in this area. This will be all of my small animal farming. I want the small animals to be as close to the house as possible. So we're kind of pan around. I'd be standing just beside my house right now. This would kind of be the front. So you got to think of it as this way, as this is what my front yard's going. This is going to be my front view. You may not be able to see my wife, but she's way almost to the driveway. So this would be kind of our front yard. So that's the plan. All of this right here would be different parts of the farm. This right here is going to be set up in a rotational. I'll do some cross fencing and really rotational graze my goats. So the other thing that right in this area, as I'm planning, I do get a lot of sun, so that's good. It can be bad, but we do get a lot of sun. We don't have a lot of trees in this section, but we may plant a few. But so where my truck is, think of it, of course, it'll be a little leveler. We're going to probably take a little bit of that crown out for where the house, but the truck may be, if it was probably up another 5 foot or so, it may be actually in the garage. So where I'm at now is going to be kind of behind the house, kind of off to the side, but this is where I plan to put a lot of my garden. I plan on doing 3 different garden spots along with chickens for laying eggs, and then I also plan on doing in this pasture in the front yard and in the side yard, I plan on doing pasture raised meat chickens. So that's something that we plan on doing in the future. The front of the house, front of this right here, that front pasture, you can see the working pen. There's a cross fence. It may be hard to make out in the video, but there is a cross fence there, and that separates the front pasture from the middle pasture, which is where the house is going to be. It'll be fenced off around the house and around our working area. But all of this down through here will be pasture. And I'll split it up into probably 3 different ones, maybe 4, depending on how, coming from the edge of the house. Depending on how I can do my water, how I can get water, that's going to be the main thing. We do have a well for cattle watering, so we'll take some of that. But all of this pasture right here is going to be primarily for my goats. That's the main thing. Goats and any other small animals that we want to raise. Stuff that I want to keep close to the house because I want my dogs that I currently have, they're going to bark, they're going to make a lot of noise. They get used to the goats because they're part of the family, but when you have the predator animals show up, they're going to make a lot of noise. That'll be extremely difficult in that back pasture that's on the other side of them pine trees, and then even further up when you get away. May can do some larger, the more mature goats in the front pasture, especially in this front section. If we cross fence it again, because they can take care of themselves a little better than the kids. So that's kind of our farm tour as of right now. Hope not to make this again. When my wife gets up here, we'll kind of do an introduction and a video. We're just kind of doing some different shots today and kind of wanted to give a tour of this is what open land. I hope to start in the spring of 2020. It is December of 2019, about 4 days after Christmas. When this gets posted, it probably will be, it may even be the new year. So this is kind of what we're starting with. My plan is to have a video or a vlog as we go through our process of turning this 135 acres into C&D farms and become at some point self-sufficient, living off of our land, growing most of our food, and trying to live a more sustainable lifestyle and get away from the hustle and bustle. Both of us work for governments. My wife works in the education system, and I work in public safety, and we enjoy our jobs, but we're looking for something. We don't want to work until we retire and then pass away. So we're looking to, in less than 10 years, we want to be out here full time. If we can do it in less time than that, that'd be great. But that's kind of our plan. See you later.